How do you recover from emotional and verbal abuse? It's really important to understand how to do this, and I'm going to show you how. I'm a licensed clinical social worker. I've worked with relationships where there has been abuse. There's been tricky abuse, there's been verbal abuse, emotional abuse, manipulations, gaslighting that go on. And it's important to understand whether you're in an abusive relationship or not and how to actually recover from it. So I'm going to break down for you how to discover whether you're in an abusive relationship and the important steps that you have to take in order to get yourself out. Also, stick around because I have an important free gift for you at the end of this video. I'm going to give you the process of healing. You need every single step in order, so pay close attention. A lot of people on the outside of the relationship can't understand why somebody is staying in an abusive relationship. They don't understand the fear that is going on and keeping the person stuck in that relationship. The first thing that you need to do is not get out of the relationship immediately. Believe it or not, it seems like that would be the first thing to do. But you need to make sure you're safe to do that first. So you need to create a safety plan where you know exactly what you're going to do and how you're going to do it before you make big decisions. Because if you jump too fast, too far, then the abuser is going to come after you. And I don't say that to scare you, but it's important to stop, work it through with a therapist, make a plan, get things in place so that you can exit the relationship. So once you've created this plan, and what I mean about that plan is write out who are your support systems, know places that you can go, what money do you have to support yourself for a little while so that you can make a move in your relationship. Once you've done those things, then it's time to get some space. In order to heal from abuse, you've got to get out of the trauma. You've got to get out of the abuse. And so you need to get some space. Now, depending on the level of abuse, depends on the amount of space that you need to take. If the verbal abuser or the emotional abuser isn't that bad, then maybe you just need to move to the basement. If they are, then you need to move out of the house. And how do you assess that? If they're yelling at you, calling you names, if it's consistent all the time, then that's legitimate verbal and emotional abuse. If they're passive aggressive and they make certain sarcastic comments that cut you, then what you need to work on is having some boundaries that can push you away from that abuse and protect yourself. So assess the level of abuse and don't fool yourself. Don't minimize it because it's easier to minimize it. Be honest with yourself about how bad that abuse is. And once you realize that, start to work that safety plan and get some space and get out of the trauma. Before I get to the next point, if you have any questions about developing a safety plan, then please share that in the comments and I'll answer those there. So once you've created a safety plan, you've gotten some space, now it's time for some healing. And what I would suggest is if you've been abused, then you need to work with a therapist through that trauma. Process it. I'm a big fan of EMDR, but step into that trauma so that you can get on the other side of it. That fear will have a lot of control over you for a long, long time unless you go work it through and work on it. And a therapist can help you work through it through different modalities like trauma work. The next step is to reconnect with the loved ones that support you. There's something that's probably happened, which is if you've been in an abusive relationship, then the people who love you have been trying to get you out of that relationship. They've been saying things to you like, he's not good for you and you need to have boundaries. Your fear has said, I don't want to listen to them. So you've had to push them away in order to stay in that relationship. Well, now that you're out and now that you're processing your pain, then reconnect with those people that were there to support you in the first place and tell them that you want to listen and you want their support because they're there for you now. Nobody wants to be abused. Nobody does. But if you've experienced abuse, we can't take that away. It did happen. So you have a choice. You have a choice to let this destroy you, or you have a choice to let this strengthen you. And the way that you let it strengthen you is by accepting that it happened and by learning from your experience. So that's the last step, is to continue to grow and learn because you've been through such a bad situation with an abuser as a partner. I've worked with domestic violence, I've worked with verbal abuse and emotional abuse, and I know that it's not an easy thing to get out of it. It's a lot more difficult than what people think. It's easy for other people to say, just get out of there, take some space. I worked with one woman who was a strong woman. She knew who she was, but her abuser was tricky. He was manipulative, and she stayed in that abusive relationship for way too long. Luckily, right before something horrific happened, she went through this process and she protected herself, and she actually became stronger because of the experience that she had been through. Now, there's cases where that's not the case. Bad things happen because they don't have the fortitude it takes to go through those steps. You got this. You can do this. Have the courage to step out of it and not tolerate being abused in your relationship. If you need help, then please reach out. There's resources out there. There's therapists that you can talk to. There's shelters that you can go to. There's people that will support you and help you work through this. If you're too scared to get the help that you need, then talk to one of the support people that you know loves you that will help you find the support that you need. Getting this out into the light and getting support is what's going to protect you. If this has been helpful, then another video of mine could be really helpful for you. It's called How to Set Boundaries in a Relationship. It's something that you'll really want to check out. Also, please subscribe to this channel because I have many videos coming out that will help you in your relationships. See you later.